All right, so it is pouring rain outside. The streets are mostly flooded. I found a route to get to the pool. And this is honestly one of the hardest parts about training for this half Ironman is the friction that I run into where I'm like, it's pouring rain, it's freezing, my blood sugars are being a little bit weird, like maybe I should just not go today. And this would be like the third or fourth week in a row that I didn't get to swim. The last 2 weeks, pool's been closed due to crazy weather, which is not characteristic for San Diego, but like this is the hard part, is just being consistent with the exercises, with the diet, with the sleep, all these things, but especially the exercises on a busy schedule. Like we've had a lot going on in the business the last couple of weeks, and I just find my mind drifting to excuses. So today I was like, you know what, I don't care. It's pouring rain, it's freezing cold, but I gotta get this done, and that is what is necessary. And this phrase keeps popping into my head. Don't give me your best, give me what is necessary, right? If my outcome is to complete this, I must do what is necessary. The event doesn't care if I'm tired or if it's raining. Either you complete the event or you don't. And today is where I prove that I'm doing what's necessary.
It's bone broth. It's decent. Also, this Warrior shirt, this is actually my company, FTF Warrior. I coach type 1 diabetics, and one of the big reasons that I started doing this whole, I start with triathlons and then moving into the half Ironman distances was to prove that you can with diabetes. And transparently, I didn't know if I could. It's really hard to master blood sugars to that extent. A lot of people in pursuing just daily activities can end up in the hospital, let alone going out and doing 70 plus miles, right? So it's been tricky, but through this whole process, a lot of people have messaged me and kind of shown that this is needed to see people who are living maybe a challenged lifestyle like myself and like a lot of people out there can still do things, even though it requires extra effort, extra planning, extra work. And I want you to know that whatever you think is crazy and that you should just never even try to pursue, there's a good chance you can do it. It just might require a little bit of a different strategy than everybody else has to do. But I believe that most of us are able to accomplish things so much greater than what we believe. And so just something to consider. Now that being said, I did think that I was going to have a stronger start. When I first got into this, I was actually peer pressured into it by my pastor. We were at this kind of homeless outreach thing where we were cooking food for people, and he basically said, "You're going to do a triathlon with us." What's a triathlon? He talked me into it. So did a sprint distance. First run that I went on, I got a half mile into it and I thought I was gonna die. So that was a great start. Bike ride, I got 1 mile into it, thought I was gonna die. My legs were on fire. And this is coming from somebody who used to do like fitness modeling and stuff. So I thought that I was in good shape. It was a humbling experience. Now swimming, I've been surfing my entire life. Grew up in San Diego, California. I was on the swim team in high school. I was like, this is not gonna be an issue. Hopped in the pool, swam down, swam back, thought I was gonna die. 2 laps, that's it. You're supposed to do a lot more than that. So this entire process was very humbling to go through as I started to train for these different sprint distances. Then I got hooked. Oh my gosh, I just finished my first sprint distance triathlon. That was a blast. I only trained for like 2 months, maybe 3, and I cannot believe how exciting it was. That was electric. I gotta sign up for the next one. I mean, outside of me nearly passing out the finish line and not really knowing where I was, that was weird. My heart kind of went. Anyways, let's do it again. And I went for the Olympic distance triathlon, which is a lot longer. Oh my goodness. So the Olympic distance triathlon, after training for like 3 weeks for it because I got super sick, absolute blast. I think I'm hooked. I might be signing up for a half Ironman soon, but I should probably figure out the whole like almost passing out thing again at the finish line where I collapsed. Also the low heart rate, low blood pressure, and limping across the finish line. Probably things I should consider before doing something crazy. Now I'm gonna sign up for the half Ironman. Let's just go for it. Then I got into it and I was like, I gotta do a half Ironman. That sounds way cooler. So like 9 months ago, I signed up for this half Ironman and decided I was going to make a whole YouTube series on it 9 months ago. Never did. And I realized it's because that makes it real and you can't back out once something's on the internet, right? So I kept seeing a lot of these injuries, as you saw earlier, pop up where I I basically broke my foot. I jacked up both my knees. I limped across the finish line for one race, and I was walking across the different transition phases for the second race. It was a nightmare. My hips had issues, my feet had issues. So ultimately, looking at each different segment, running by itself was insanely difficult. So with running, I ran into a number of issues. I thought it was the shoes, hired a running coach. He said, it's probably not the shoes, it's probably you, it's your form. Went to a physical therapist. Physical therapist said, your glutes are incredibly weak. How dare you? I thought, it looks kind of nice, right? Your muscles are weak. Get over it. You gotta fix this. So in fixing my glutes, I fixed my knees, my IT band. Then I felt like I could run forever. I did 5 miles, 7 miles, 8 miles. I'm gonna keep going. Stress fracture. And that's where we're at right now, where I literally can't walk without pain. 60 days away from this next half Ironman. I will figure out a way how to do this. Not gonna let this stop me. None of the other injuries have stopped me yet either, but numerous times I've seen roadblocks try and get in my way. Now with biking's been interesting. Biking is where my knees actually gave me the most issue, and I find out later that the bike that I bought used is way too small for me. Never knew this, didn't know any of the ins and outs of cycling. The only biking I had done was mountain biking, which I only got into a couple years ago. But I really got into it, like full face helmet, full suspension bike, had a blast going through the mountains. But road biking, I actually used to make fun of these people. It's like, who would spend money on a bike just to go on a road? It's so boring. I want to go up jumps and like cliffs and stuff. I'm a bit of an adrenaline seeker myself. Now, I get into it, and it turns out it's actually fun. I really like this whole road bike speed thing, and just bought my first aero bike this morning. So if you don't know what that is, it's aerodynamic. It's something specially designed for going fast on a road and nothing else. The thing I used to make fun of people for. But in biking, and getting an indoor trainer for when it's raining or too cold outside, and really getting into the sport, turns out it's amazing. The last ride we did was a 60-mile bike ride, which is insane because 2 weeks ago, the longest distance I had ever done, I think, was 25 miles. So we're stepping it up quickly, mostly again because I procrastinated, but it was gorgeous. We saw 12 cities in one bike ride. Mountains, rivers, streams, shaded oak valleys, beaches, cities of downtown or downtown of cities, whatever. It's been amazing. So biking has been a blast, and getting into swimming, I had to work my ego back into where I used to be, where I thought I was good at swimming. Turns out I lost all of my fitness when I don't swim for a decade. Got back into it. Now swimming is my strongest suit, where I'm doing 100 laps in a pool, feeling amazing. Feel like I could go forever if it weren't for my blood sugars. That's kind of the only issue with type 1 diabetes, is that no matter how fit you are, you still have to stop to check in on blood sugars. For me, I have to take in glucose. I actually have to take in an enormous amount of glucose when I'm training. So the 60-mile bike ride that I did, I had to eat 300 grams of carbs just to not die. Like, I told the other riders that I was with, I was like, yeah, I had 300 carbs. Oh, cool, we're about to go get lunch and do the same. No, you don't understand. I had to eat 300 carbs, and I counted it all up with fats and proteins. It's 1,800 calories that I had to consume while riding those 60 miles just so I didn't have a hypoglycemic episode. And thankfully they know what type 1 diabetes is, so it wasn't an issue, but my goodness, there is a lot to consider with this stuff. Now, as I get into video 2, 3, 4 with this series, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the nutritional aspects, how many carbs, fats, proteins my own diet looks like, my different workout splits, when I'm lifting, when I'm running. Well, right now I can't run, but doing different cardio pieces, right? And so what I would love to hear from you guys, especially since we're just kind of reviving this channel, I haven't posted here in probably a decade, is what kind of content is most helpful for you guys. As a certified master fitness trainer and nutritionist, I've got the expertise in both splits. As a coach for type 1 diabetics, I obsess over blood sugar analytics, even with non-diabetics. I've had non-diabetics consult me for how to stabilize their blood sugars in life. So it doesn't matter if you have a functioning pancreas as well. I'd love to go into that if it's helpful. But the goal of this video is to kick off this series to build accountability into this for myself, so I actually do the race and don't have a way to back out. But 3 is to build this into another channel outside of just my company, but for me, for interests that I have. Like right now, this half Ironman, optimizing health, mindset, family. Last time I posted a video on this page, I don't even think I was married. Now I'm married, I have a daughter, and they're both amazing. And so that's what this series is going to center on, but I'm also going to be looking into different partnerships with companies that also want to help us to optimize our health, and sharing that with you guys as you're watching this. So let me know what kind of stuff you're interested in. I would love to hear from you as we kind of go through this journey and figure out how the heck I'm going to compete in a half Ironman when I'm nowhere close to it and it's only 59 days away. It's 2 months. I have a significant amount of work to do, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous about this. So follow along. We'll see how this goes. Do hit the subscribe button. Smash the like button while you're here. Drop a comment so that YouTube can see this is a fun series for us to dive into. But hit the subscribe button at the very least so that you're going to be notified in the next video where I talk a bit more about some of the crazy stories that I've got on this journey so far. So we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for hanging out, and wish me luck. Hopefully I heal up soon because this is not looking awesome. We'll see you in the next one.